People think that the President of the United States, is this more on the subject than you ever want to know? Will you let me know? People think that the President of the United States has the power for debt forgiveness. He does not. He can postpone, he can delay, but he does not have that power. That has to be an act of Congress.
Using the authority Congress granted the Department of Education, we will forgive $10,000 in outstanding federal student loans. In addition, students who come from low-income families, which allowed them to qualify to receive a Pell Grant, will have their debt reduced $20,000. I understand not everything I'm announcing today is going to make everybody happy, but I believe my plan is responsible and fair. It focuses the benefit on middle class and working families.
I think from an equity and an inflationary standpoint, it's not the best use of taxpayer dollars here. There are a lot of people who will benefit who appear to have relatively low or moderate incomes today, but will have very high expected future earnings.
Let's just celebrate, because understand, 20 million Americans got the news today that they will never have to pay another nickel on student loan debt. This is historic.
If you're a working class person who never went to college, you're not going to get any of this $300 billion it's going to cost the government.
And what about the criticism from taxpayers who say, you know, I paid for my loans? I mean, there's some people who don't want to extend that help to other people because they went through such hard times paying for college themselves.
That's what the president reminds us so much of in bringing this country together, that someone doesn't have to do bad for you to do good, that everybody can do better together.
This is effectively a bailout for a super corrupt educational system. The Harvard endowment has $60 billion. The Yale endowment has $40 billion. If you want to give student debt relief, you should penalize the people who have benefited from this very corrupt system, right. Not ask plumbers in Ohio to subsidize the life decisions of college-educated young people, primarily young people who are going to make a lot of money over the course of their lifetime anyway.
Thanks, Green. About the student loans, how can the country afford such a massive handout?
Yeah, well, you know, Ambassador Rice said that she's happy to have that discussion. I'm happy to have this discussion as well. Look, if you look at what this president has done, if you look at the end of this coming end of the fiscal year, $1.7 trillion that we have reduced, brought down the deficit. That matters. That matters. And if you look at the Inflation Reduction Act, it's going to add another $300 billion. It's going to bring down the deficit again.
And you might spend $300 to $900 billion extra. So you can do that and not
but here's the thing.
deficit.
Here's the thing. What we are trying to do here, we are doing this responsibly. You heard directly from the president. This is something that is going to be important for middle-class Americans. When you think about 90% of the folks who are going to actually benefit from this are making $75,000 or less.
Here's a lot about how much it might cost, it might not cost. Who is paying for this?
What we are saying is the work that this administration has done, the work that the Democrats in Congress has done, is actually there, and you see that the 1.7 trillion deficit deduction that you see is going to benefit us in being able to do something for the middle class. To do something for the middle class. This is about doing something for people who make less than $125,000. $1.7 trillion. That's what we've been able to do.
But when you forgive debt, you're not just disappearing debt. So who is paying for this?
And then I'll give you the second part. So we are doing this in a smart way. We're doing this in a way that's going to be effective. We're doing this in a way that keeps to the president's promise on giving people who need some breathing room, who need some breathing room. I just laid out for you. No, Peter, I just laid out for you how we're seeing this process and why this matters.
Again,
I just laid out.